Morning, everybody. Welcome here to day 3 of the coronavirus South Christian economics class here today. Hope you guys are all doing well. I just hope and pray you guys are sticking to routines, that you're getting up on time, that you're working out, that you're staying busy, going outside. We're going to get through this year together. It's been tough on all of us. So again, thanks for your grace when it comes to this class. And again, I know this isn't the most exciting thing, but I'm trying to do my best here to make sure that we can get through this material and hopefully understand a lot of these concepts and carry them on for a long time in life. As you guys did your homework yesterday, I want to hit on a couple of key things. Again, a lot of you sent it to me. That's great. I'm trying to come up with a little better way to do that than just emails, but I will come up with a couple other things. But there's just a couple of things I want to hit on. Same thing like we did the other days, hit on in this homework. Um, First things first, right? You take a look, the entire chapter is about bonds. And just underneath that first question right there, where I asked you to say simply is this: it's a loan, right? That's exactly what a bond is. You don't own part of the company. You don't get to say where the company goes. You're just simply saying, here's some money. You will pay me back a fixed rate over time. Okay, so that's really what a bond is compared to stocks. Stocks you own, bonds you loan. All right, it's an easy way to do that. Now, I do want you to skip down a little before I have as number 2 here, but skip forward to sort of these advantages and disadvantages of bonds, okay? And the first one is this. Two advantages here, right? You have a minimal credit risk. What we mean by that is that most likely you are going to get your money back. Now, if you started to look at all those different types of bonds, there are junk bonds. If you bought a bond from J.C. Penney, well, I don't know if you're going to get your money back. I don't know if J.C. Penney's going to be around 10 years from now. You bought a bond from Coca-Cola, yeah, you're going to get your money back. Apple, right? And the same is true when it comes looking at municipal bonds. You bought a bond in Grand Rapids. Grand Rapids is pretty fiscally responsible, and they're not going to go bankrupt, right? Now, Detroit or Flint, they have declared bankruptcy in the past. Again, you don't get all your money back. So there's a little bit of risk, but not much. And the other positive, the other advantage. So again, just for this section here, I wanted to make sure that you have advantages and disadvantages down. Is that there's fixed payments. You know what you're going to get. You can plan for the future. If you start thinking about disadvantages, first one here is this: you don't own the company. You can't make votes. Again, when you own a certain amount of percentage of a company, you actually you vote on the direction of the company. Now, I don't know how important that is to you, but that is a disadvantage. And the other one here is that you can miss out on big gains. And let me show you a couple of different ones here. For example, here's Facebook. Now this is Tuesday that I'm making this video, but you can kind of see back in 2012, we used to play this game, right? Stock market game. You could have bought a stock here for $27 going back about 7 years. Now today it's worth $150, right? You would have almost 6 times your money. Now, had you bought a bond right here at 4%, sure, you're still making money, but you'd be right about here, right? Right about here. You're going to be up a little bit. You're going to be up about 20, 30%. You're not going to be up 500%. So you can miss out on that. On the other hand, I'll pull up another stock here. This is BlackBerry. Looking back at BlackBerry, you could have bought a bond right here when it was selling for $129, $146 a share. Holy cow, right? Research, that was called Research in Motion at the time. You could have bought a bond, and at that 4%, again, BlackBerry's still around. They're not bankrupt, right? So they still have to pay back. You're going to be way up here, right? You're going to continue at 4%. You don't really care how the company does. As long as it's afloat, they have to pay you that money back. All right, so those are again some of the disadvantages. You can miss out on some big gains. On the other hand, you can really make a fair amount of money when times do go bad. And so what we've seen recently is stocks have just dived in the past week. What we've seen is that people have started to pour their money into bonds to try to ride out this downhill and then jump back into stocks when they think it's reached a bottom. Take a look at some of these different types of bonds, right? Most of you probably even have a savings bond from grandma and grandpa or something like that. That's just part of the national debt. I pulled up the national debt here. We're looking 23.5 trillion. It's going to grow exponentially here pretty quickly as the economy has stopped and government's trying to fund people's lives here for the next little bit. But the fact that people are really pumping a lot of money into bonds, it gives me a little bit more reassurance that we're going to be okay. All right, they're borrowing this money at very cheap, and that's when you do buy a bond, you're basically loaning money to the federal government. And again, there's several different types here. I've got several of them, right? You have treasury bills, treasury notes, treasury bonds, again, long term, etc. Treasury notes are intermediate length. Municipal bonds are for your state and local government. So Michigan, if you can recall, Gretchen Whitmer wants to, fix the roads, and she decided to do that through a local bond sale, right? $2.4 billion over the next 10 years, raising money. Another example would be Caledonia High School, for example. They have a beautiful new high school built about 10 years ago, maybe 15, and they did this through bonds, right? They have a bond millage. A lot of local communities do that for a new pool or a new airport as well, which we did about 10, 15 years ago. Here's the Gerald R. Ford International Airport. I don't know where these mountains come from, but anyhow, this is a really cool airport. You can see it all. And there's Washington, D.C. This was about $110 million, and they needed to borrow money, right? They sell bonds, right? It's a loan. They maybe went to a bank, but other than that, they borrow money to do that. So again, those are some of those things, the state and local bonds. If you have your book, you can go ahead and turn to page 286 and 287. And at the top right there, just to say, what's the function of these bonds, right? Really similar to what just happened here in Michigan with Gretchen Whitmer, our governor, who wants to fix the road. So if you take a look at that top chart along the top, again, it just simply says the main state road connecting Mudville and Saltville is in terrible shape. People don't want to use it. The economies of both cities are suffering. Number two, Mudville and Saltville and all the towns in between need a new road, but how do the citizens pay for it? State steps in and proposes to repair the road and make it a toll road. State voters approve the bond, right? You got to vote on it. Bonds go on sale and sell well. The state's credit is good. Interest on the bond is tax exempt. There's enough money to begin construction on a new road. Number four, with a new road, Mudville and Saltville prosper. Tolls from the road more than cover the interest. Number five, investors are happy because they receive a nice check every 3 months. The citizens of Mudville and Saltville are happy because the road repaired road makes travel between the two cities easier. So one thing we've seen, Caledonia has done it, our local county has done it, we see Gretchen Whitmer doing it with fixing the roads, $2.4 billion. Corporations also issue bonds. Again, there's not much risk involved there if you're looking at Facebook. If you're going to buy a bond in BlackBerry, you have some risk, and those are what we call risky bonds. Now, again, if I'm going to buy a bond in BlackBerry, well, then because there's more risk, I better get more reward, and we've seen that throughout. If you take a look now at Section 3, for Section 3, as we go through that list, there's just a couple of things I want to hit on again, and we've talked about dividends before. Remember, those are part of the corporation's profits that they share with the stockholders, right? So if you look at Facebook, if Facebook doesn't have it, they're not going to share your profits with you. They're going to pump it back into the company. If we look at BlackBerry, they don't have money, and I don't think they got any profits. Let's look up a stock like Ford. Now, Ford has a really good dividend, right? Ford has a dividend. Struggling today, like all stocks, but look at that, about 12%. They're going to share any money you invest in there, you're going to get 12%. Man, that's a really good deal, right? They're going to share 12% of all their profits with their shareholders. So again, that's called dividend. We've talked about that before. Capital gain, again, anything you gain on any investment. So if you have an investment property, that's capital gain. All right, you made some money on that. You do have to pay taxes on that. Same thing. Let's say you had a loss. You bought BlackBerry back in the day, and now you decided to sell it. So anything you lose on a particular investment. Last thing, again, contracts. What are futures here for number 7? Contracts to buy stock in the future. Those occur. We've seen those happen overnight. They oftentimes talk about the futures. Again, this is on page 294. You'll see that chart. In my teacher edition book, my chart is empty. So I'm going to need somebody maybe to email me, first person to do that with all 4 correct answers. And I can kind of remember them from previous classes. But email me those and I'll give you a little extra credit. But I don't have those in front of me right now and I can't get back into the school. So if you have your book, could you do that? Last part here, number 8. Bull market. Good. Bear market. Bad. Easy way to remember, bulls are good. We've had a great bull market here for about 11 years. We are now in a bear market. And you're seeing that play out very quickly. An easy way to remember this, bear, you're scared. Listen, I have no homework for you. I got nothing else for you to watch. You guys have a great rest of the day. Again, I'll be thinking about you and praying for you all, and I really do miss you already, and we're going to get through this. So have a great rest of the day. No other homework. Thanks.